Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. You're watching The Real Freddy G. And for Canada Day, I'm making you all poutine. So, like I said before, I'm making poutine, or Poutine, however you guys want to pronounce it. It's still the same three ingredients. French fries, gravy, and really good cheese curds. This dish, very simple. Three things, like I said, but, there's a couple techniques that are extremely important. Making a good French fry, making a good gravy. I'm going to show you guys how to make both of those things today. And once you have that combined, you'll be able to make Canada's national dish, and it'll turn out great every single time. Guys, if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe, right? And share this video with your friends. Thank you for watching. Okay, so first things first with the poutine, we're going to be cutting the French fries. So I'm using russet potatoes here. The reason I'm using these, there's a much lower starch content in these potatoes. And during the frying process, less starch means a crispy potato. So that's why we're using these. So the first things first, I'm going to be cutting these into the French fry shape. I'm not going to do so thin as a shoestring and not super thick, just somewhere in the middle. And what I'm going to do is cutting them, throwing them in the water here, and then we'll be leaving them in the fridge for about 8 hours. So I'm going to show you guys one potato here, how to cut it, how to do it safely. Because these are round and oval, they do tend to roll, so we don't want that. So what I'm going to do is just cut a flat end on this potato. So now it sits nice and gently on here, and it's not going to roll anywhere. And from there, we cut long strips. So now we've got potato like this, all right? And from there, I'm going to roll it down again on a flat end, and we're just going to cut it. We're going to cut it relatively thin here. Again, like I said, not shoestring, but we want it to a size where it's not going to undercook when it's frying. We want this all the way cooked and nice and crispy. So end up having fries like about that size, right? Separate them, throw them in the water. And you can already see in the water it's starting to get a little murky. That's just the starch coming out of the potato. Okay, so all the potatoes are now cut. We're gonna put them in the fridge for, like I said, about 8 hours. I've already rinsed out the water on this once. When it comes out, I'm gonna rinse it out again, and then we'll get to actually frying them. Okay, so second part of the poutine is gonna be the gravy. So to start, we're gonna go in with a 1/4 cup of butter. We're going to get that melting. Once the butter is melted, we're going to start adding in that 1/4 cup of flour. Make sure to stir it gradually. We want it to be completely incorporated in with the butter. Alright, so as you can see now, it's been about 2-3 minutes, and roux has already changed in color, so what that's doing now, we're going to get a real nice nutty roasted flavor out of this gravy. So everything's come together. We're going to slowly add in. I've got about 750 mils of beef broth here. I'm going to add it in bits. So throw it in, stir it, and you're going to see it's going to thicken up. And then as it thickens up, we're going to add more of that broth in. Now that it's thick, take it off the heat, put more broth in. I'm going about 200 mils, 250 mils at a time here. Okay, so the gravy is boiled. I brought it down to a simmer. Now I'm just checking it for seasoning and also consistency. So a really easy way to check it is, see how the sauce now hits the side of the spoon? What we want to do here, draw a line, and see how that sauce is not going into that line? That's the consistency we want. So this just needs a little bit of salt, just because that beef broth already has salt in it. I'm going to throw this thyme in now, and I'm just going to let it steep into the gravy. I don't want a hard heat hitting that because it is such a delicate herb. All right, and I'm going to add a lot of black pepper to this. And that's it. I'm just going to keep that on a low heat. That thyme is just going to start, bleeding out all its flavors. And this gravy should be ready in about half an hour. So we have the fries drained here. I use a little bit of towel here just to make sure that there's no water on here. If there's too much water going into the frying oil, we're gonna have a little bit of explosion and we don't want that. So I'm gonna go in here a few fries at a time, just using a spider. Start letting it go. So I've got the oil set to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. This is just for the first fry. And the reason I'm not overcrowding this fryer right now is if we put it too high, the oil is going to overflow and we're going to have a big mess on our hands. The best way to know when this first batch of fries is done, you're going to see a lot of wrinkles on them. And what that is just like anything that's being dehydrated, it's losing that moisture and it's shrinking in, just like a raisin. Okay, so it's been about 4 minutes now, and these potatoes are ready to go. So like I was saying before, if you look closely at this potato here, see all those nice wrinkles that have come out of it? And you can already see it start shrinking into itself. That's what we're looking for. So this is the first fry. I'm going to take these out now. You want to let them rest for about 4-5 minutes, right? And then we're going to throw them back in at a higher heat, 350 Fahrenheit. And we're going to get that final really nice crispy French fry product that we're looking for. Okay, so like I said before, we're just going to use this resting rack here, get that circulation, and make sure you separate your fries out. You don't want them overlapping or touching each other because it's just going to cause that seam effect that we don't want. Okay, so I've got both batches of fries done now. So we're going to do this in maybe about like this amount here, probably about 3 to 4 batches. So to start off, like I said, same idea. We're going to throw it all in the spider here and slowly fire them in. And you can hear there's not as much of a hiss or a bubble because a lot of that water has come out in that initial first fry. So now what we're doing here is building that nice crispy crunch to the fries that we're looking for. Okay guys, so fries are ready to go. We got all that nice coloring on here. That's what we're looking for. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to season them right when they come out of the fryer. And the reason I'm doing that is all this oil that's still on here, it's going to act as kind of like a binder for the salt, because otherwise the salt's just going to fall off and we're not going to get any seasoning on these. So make sure you're tossing it all the way around. You can hear that nice crunch and crispiness on those fries. So I'm going to take these out now. Same as last time, we're going to separate them on the wire rack. We don't want them steaming each other. Okay, last batch of fries done. Same thing as last time. Take them out. The smell in here is amazing right now. So, I'm going to get the rest of the fries out, and we're going to get this poutine plated. So, if any of you guys have had a poutine in the past, there's one problem that I always see happening, and it's all the toppings in the gravy are on top. Kind of like how nachos are, it's not layered. And I think layering, poutine, nachos, stuff like that is so key. You get a good base of fries here. We're going to throw on the third and final ingredient of poutine, cheese curds. Oh, and then we're going to throw our gravy on top, the one that we made earlier, to make sure that's nice and hot. And the smell's already coming out of this kitchen. Amazing. And then we're going to get the last little bit of cheese curds on here. I want a lot of cheese curds. It says, like I said before, 3 ingredients in this dish. You want to make sure all 3 are perfect and all 3 are done right. So, nice crispy potatoes, nice squeaky salty cheese, and nice rich beef gravy or vegetarian gravy. That's what you're looking for. That is gorgeous. Look at that. I mean, there's a reason this is Canada's national dish. It's absolutely gorgeous. So, I'm going to go a little fancy. I'm going to let a bit of chives on top to put on. Just do a little sprinkle over top. And that's it. That is the poutine. Oh, Canada. All right, everybody, the moment we've both been waiting for. Time to dig into this poutine. So, just looking at it, All this lovely melted cheese curd, the nice rich gravy, crispy fries. It definitely can't lose. So let's get at it. It is definitely Canada's dish. You know, we got the nice, creamy, rich cheese curds and gravy on those nice, crispy, salty fries. You sit there on a winter's day here in Canada, sit down with one of those, definitely can't feel the cold. A lot of poutines nowadays are added with a bunch of toppings on there. I want to go traditional, just so you guys can see the base. Add whatever you want on there. You know, chicken, beef, pork, vegetables, anything you want. But this is the base. Once you get this down, make whatever you guys want. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like the video. And if you guys are liking this content, please subscribe. Until next time, dinner is Freddy. See ya.